What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to talk about my first firearm that I ever got. My very first one. Not my first carry firearm, not my first home defense, but my very first firearm. And if you could hit the like button, that'd be great. If you could drop a comment, I don't care what you put an emoji, say hi, put a thumbs up. Doesn't matter to me. It all helps the channel, and I would really appreciate that. But this right here is my very first firearm. Now, not this exact Ruger SR9C, a different one. I ended up selling it, which I ended up realizing was a mistake, and so I went out and found a used Ruger SR9C because they don't make them anymore, and I went out and got it. So I ended up with basically the same firearm as my first firearm. But anyways, when you get into firearms for the first time, it's very confusing. There's budget firearms, there's firearms that are mid-range, and there's really expensive firearms, and there's custom firearms. You don't know what to get. On top of that, you don't know much about these brands. You don't know much about their quality. You don't know much about the models. You're just trying to figure it out. And that's the thing about firearms that I always tell people is, you're not going to get it right at first, but over time, it's all about learning. It's all about gaining knowledge. I'm never the best at anything. I'm always learning. I'm always absorbing info, and I always try and bring it back to this channel to help you guys do as well. Because it can be very confusing, right? You go to the local shop, and one person loves SIGs and is the die-for SIGs. Then you have one person who's die hard for Glock, right? And you don't know what to do. You're wondering, why does he love this so much? Why does he love this so much? My experience was I only had like $250, and I'm like, I really want a firearm to protect myself. This world's getting crazy. I had a couple reasons why I needed a firearm to protect myself, and I'm like, I don't have that much money. I still need to get a holster. I still want to shoot this thing. And so what ended up happening is I went to a local pawn shop, and they literally handed me a piece of paper, a list. And they're like, which one do you want to see? I'm like, I barely know any of these. Let me see the Ruger because it was the cheapest. And so he brings it out, and that stainless steel slide just caught me. It literally just caught me. I'm like, that thing is beautiful looking. Then I gripped it. I'm like, the ergonomics are on point. I love this thing. And the guy's like, yeah, I've never shot one, but I've heard pretty good things about them. And then I was like, oh, it's got a manual safety, which at the time, you don't realize that firearms are safe until you pull the trigger. You're still learning. So I was like, that's perfect. So what did I go with? The Ruger SR9C, right? And I'm like, yes, $250, still have some money to get a holster, a little bit of ammo, I'm ready to go. Then I go to the range. What happens? I don't know malfunctions. I don't know how to shoot that well yet. I've shot before in my life, but I'm not, where I'm at now. And I started having malfunctions. And I didn't know how to clear them properly. I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm like, this is a terrible experience. This is a terrible first experience. I was by myself at the range. Wasn't handling recoil well, and I'm sure that was causing some of the issues. But it was just having malfunctions. And so I went and did some research and looking up, and then I really trained and practiced. But still, even after I got good, after months, it was still having malfunction issues. So I got rid of it. I didn't know any better at the time. I didn't know to call Ruger, have it sent in. I didn't do any of that. And it's all part of this firearm experience that we all go through. Now, like I said, though, it held a special place in my heart. I'm not going to lie. Shooting it for the first time was the greatest feeling in the world. On my third round, though, when you get a malfunction, the worst feeling in the world, right? So that whole day was just mixed emotions, loving what I'm doing, but at the same time struggling, right? And I feel like people are looking at me at the range because it's, my first time shooting in a long, long time, and it just was what it was. But I got home, took it down, cleaned it, all that, and it still had issues, like I said, so I got rid of it. But here I am today with the same firearm, and it's never going to leave my side. This one's been 100% reliable. It's been a great firearm. Is this my main carry? No, but that's the point of this video I'm trying to make. Your first firearm, your second firearm, your third firearm probably isn't going to be your main go-to or your diehard, but it's all about learning what you like, learning what you need, and learning how you live, right? If you go, on walks every day with your kids and take them to the playground, you're not going to carry a full size. That's just not going to make any sense, right? Especially if you live in a safer area. But if you live in a super cold area where there's some crime and stuff, I'm carrying a full size. I don't care. If I can conceal a full size, then fine, I will do it. But in where I live and everything, I cannot conceal anything bigger than something like this. It just is what it is. But it's all about learning. It's all about getting what you can afford, but also doing the research on it, and that's something I didn't do a very good job at. But am I happy with where I'm at? Am I happy where this firearm led me to? Yes. Regardless of its issues, regardless of its malfunction issues, it was something that still made me feel safe and still made me feel comfortable and still, got me into wanting to learn how to clear malfunctions, and wanting to understand why my firearm's having issues, and wanting to really get into this. And it's going to be like this for the rest of my life. You're going to have firearms with issues. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to get better. You're going to have to do some research. And that's just what the firearm everyday carry hobby is about. So anyways, guys, I appreciate it. This right here, Ruger SR9C, a very sentimental piece for me. Thanks for watching, guys.